A man known for tailored suits and glossy magazine covers just lost 7 kilograms. And for months, he walked with a spine he wasn't born with, curved, deliberately, on purpose, for every single day of filming. That's Rabbit News Hallyu, and the project this was for isn't even the one you'd expect. Here's the setup. Mode Xian drops August 1st, a 3-episode online drama starring Xiao Zhan, Zhou Yiran, and Peng Yuchang. It's a spin-off of the film Cautious and Composed, set in the fictional town of Guji, where Japanese tanks close in and a scavenged Solothurn machine gun becomes the last line of defense for ordinary civilians. Xiao Zhan plays Mo Dexian, a low-level tailor forced into combat. On paper, that's a supporting arc in a side project, the kind of release that usually exists to extend a franchise, not define it. In practice, the physical commitment behind it doesn't match the description at all. Losing 7 kilograms for a role isn't rare in this industry. Actors do it constantly, and audiences have grown almost numb to the announcement. What's less common is the hunch. Production materials describe Xiao Zhan maintaining a curved spine throughout filming, meant to physically read as a small, worn-down man shaped by survival pressure. That's not a costume choice. That's a posture held for the length of a shoot, day after day, for a character who isn't even the emotional center of the franchise. Costume and makeup can age a face in minutes. A curved spine held for months is a decision made in the body, not on a rack. So the question worth sitting with isn't did he prepare for the role? It's why a 3-episode spin-off, a format usually treated as bonus content, something to round out a bigger story before fans move on to the next release, got treatment closer to a lead performance in a prestige film. But there's a detail buried further in that changes how this whole thing reads. State media picked this up. CCTV News, Xinhua, People's Daily Online, Global Times, all of them ran the news stills on the same day. That's not typical rollout for a 3-episode online spin-off. Spin-offs usually get quiet drops, maybe a poster, maybe a trailer on the platform's own account, timed for whichever week the algorithm is kindest to. They don't usually get simultaneous coverage from 4 separate state outlets during release week, the kind of coordinated placement normally reserved for tentpole theatrical releases. Put those two facts together, the physical transformation and the media placement, and a different story starts to take shape. This isn't being positioned as filler content to extend a franchise. It's being positioned as a serious wartime drama in its own right, one that happens to share a universe with a bigger film rather than live in its shadow. Director Kong Sheng has talked about the project in terms that support that reading. In an interview with W China, he singled out a moment where Mo Dexian faces the choice to fight or flee, and described real courage not as the absence of fear, but as choosing to stand while still shaking. That's the kind of line directors reach for when they're building a performance they expect critics to sit with, not smoothing over a side story on its way to being forgotten. From an industry strategy angle, this pattern isn't new, it's just rarely this visible. Spin-offs and prequels have become a low-risk space for established actors to take on heavier, less commercially safe material. The main film carries the box office pressure, the marketing budget, the scrutiny of opening weekend numbers. The spin-off carries the artistic risk instead. If a 3-episode format lets an actor commit to 7 kilograms of weight loss and months of altered posture without the decision needing to justify a 9-figure box office return, that's a strategic advantage, not an accident. It's a way to take a swing without anyone counting the score. And that reframes what the physical transformation is actually doing. It's not just performance prep. It's a signal, to critics, to the industry, to the state outlets that ended up amplifying it, that this actor is treating a smaller project with the same discipline as a flagship role. For an idol actor whose public image has often been built around polish and control, visibly giving that up on camera is its own kind of statement, whether or not it was designed as one. There's a version of this choice that stays safe, hit the marks, wear the costume, let makeup do the aging. Xiao Zhan's team didn't take that version. There's also a quieter layer worth naming, the character himself. Mo Dexian isn't written as a hero from the start. He's a tailor who wants to keep his family fed, who gets pulled into war because the war arrives at his doorstep, not because he goes looking for it. That's a specific kind of role, the reluctant, ordinary man forced into extraordinary circumstance, and it's historically been a strong vehicle for actors trying to shift audience perception away from idol status and toward dramatic credibility. Zhou Yiran, Xiao Zhan, and Peng Yuchang Xiao Yang follow a similar arc, each defined by resilience under pressure rather than heroism for its own sake. Zhou Yiran plays a mother whose strength shows up in small, steady gestures rather than dramatic speeches. Peng Yuchang's arc moves from a timid soldier avoiding conflict to someone who finds his footing only when retreat stops being an option. The writing itself seems built to reward restraint over spectacle, which makes the ensemble's physical commitment less about individual vanity and more about a shared creative bet. Fan reaction to physical transformation stills tends to split in predictable ways. Some read it as proof of dedication, evidence that an idol actor is finally being taken seriously by his own industry. Others read it as concerning, especially when visible weight loss is involved, regardless of the professional context surrounding it. Both readings are understandable, and neither one requires the other to be wrong, but it's worth separating the performance choice from any judgment about it, because the industry conversation here isn't really about the number on a scale. It's about what a 7-kilogram cut and months of altered posture are being used to say about where this actor wants his career to go next, and how deliberately that message is being built into every still image release so far. Which brings the picture back to where it started, but with more weight behind it. A spin-off nobody was required to take seriously just got a lead performance built like it belonged in the main event, amplified by state media that doesn't typically bother with side content. That combination doesn't happen by accident in an industry this coordinated, where every press release and outlet pickup tends to reflect a decision made somewhere upstream. It suggests a project positioned to do more than fill space between seasons, possibly to establish Xiao Zhan's range in a historical war setting ahead of larger prestige roles down the line, and to reinforce Daylight Entertainment's standing as a studio capable of producing state media-endorsed war dramas at speed, on a compressed 3-episode timeline most studios wouldn't risk their A-list talent on. Zoom out further and this fits a broader shift happening across C-ent right now. Spin-offs and extended universe formats are increasingly being used not as cash grabs, but as controlled testing grounds, spaces where established stars can take creative risks that wouldn't clear the approval process for a full theatrical release, where budgets are lower and expectations are quieter. If Zhan performs well critically, expect more studios to treat the spin-off format the same way, not as an afterthought, but as where the real acting risk gets taken, while the flagship film keeps doing the job of filling seats. There's a parallel worth drawing here to how streaming platforms elsewhere have used limited series the same way, as a controlled space to test an actor's range before committing them to a 9-figure tentpole. The format is different, the market is different, but the underlying logic is the same: smaller stakes by bigger creative freedom. What makes the Xiao Zhan case stand out is the speed at which state media chose to validate that freedom publicly, rather than letting critical reception build organically over weeks. That's not how most 3-episode releases get treated, and it's worth watching whether this becomes a standard playbook for launching prestige spin-offs in the region, or whether Zhan turns out to be the exception rather than the start of a pattern. It's also worth noting what this means for how international audiences encounter C-ent going forward. A project like this, amplified through state media on day one, travels differently than a quiet streaming drop. It reaches audiences who weren't necessarily following Xiao Zhan's filmography closely, and it does so with an implicit stamp of institutional seriousness attached. That distribution advantage is arguably as significant as the performance itself, even if it rarely gets discussed in the same breath. None of this confirms intent nobody involved has stated outright. What the evidence does support is a pattern, physical commitment, directorial framing, and media amplification all pointing the same direction at once. That's not proof of a grand strategy. It's a strong indicator that this small project isn't being treated as small by anyone actually working on it, from the director choosing which scene to highlight in interviews to the state outlets that decided this was worth for simultaneous headlines. If you like entertainment stories that go past the headline, the kind that catch the quiet signals most coverage skips right past, Rabbit News Hallyu is built exactly for that. Subscribe if you want analysis, not just news.